what can people expect from Little Wicked Letters?
I'm looking now up at Olivia and Jesse. I think you're going to have a lot of fun watching this film. I think it's so surprising. It catches you out along the way. There's a sort of romp element to it. It kind of plays with the genre of the 1920s that you might imagine a story, a kind of crime caper in a suburb. So it's almost an element of a whodunit. But then the actual swearing is so cataclysmically brilliant that I think it's surprising. It's got the cream of sort of British acting. My friend Hugh Skinner there from W1A, for example. And yeah, so it'll be a real treat.
And it made me realise, actually, when I think about period drama, we don't necessarily associate it with comedy, and certainly not with being quite foul-mouthed. When you read the script, were you like, oh, actually, this is a bit different?
Yeah, sort of genre busting, in a way. It's a bit like those Ealing films that were made in the sort of 40s and 50s. There's that kind of feel to it, almost black and white feel to it. And yet there's this sort of searing swearing that comes out of it as well. And it's of course, very real, So there's an element of propriety and good manners, which is then obliterated by the filthy mind of one of the characters.
And tell us a bit about your character. And of course, I guess you can say you're sort of on the side of the patriarchy, this slightly...
Yeah, I've used that word, actually. That word popped up earlier on. I am on the side of the patriarchy, and yes, my character, comes in latterly into the film in a quite significant moment. And yes, he very much symbolises that kind of fist of iron that was, and the English old money and class, I suppose, is the main takeaway.
And when I was talking to Timothy Spall the other day, we're sort of saying, do you see that, a character like yours would be a villain? Would you see him as a product of the time and just doing the job he's given within a context? How did you sort of rationalise the way he would be?
I know a lot of people who work in the law, so I need to be careful about his villainy. But he often makes the most of his that paternalistic view of the time to get what he wants. And I suppose any barrister would want to do their job to the fullest degree if that meant being rather harsh to the person or persons in the witness box.
And of course, Olivia Colman, Jessie Buckley at the centre of this story, and they absolutely capture all the right beats of the humour, the heart. What was it like working with them?
Well, I've worked with both of them before in less comic scenarios, particularly with Jessie. I did Taboo with her, which I think was one of her earliest jobs, and she was magnificent in that. And Olivia I know and have worked with many times, particularly in The Crown, and she's just utterly irresponsible when it comes to work. I mean, she knows her lines, she's brilliant, but other than that, she messes about most of the time. I think she likes to keep the set happy. She doesn't go into a corner. She only ever goes... No, she never goes quiet. I go quiet because I get all quite serious and try to remember lines. She's very light and she brings all that into her work. So, yeah, it's a real joy. Very lucky.
Did you balk at the idea of having to read out some of those lines in court?
No, you have to stop me, actually.
And finally, what do you hope people will take away? Because obviously it is very funny, but there is an important message underneath that all. And, perhaps we do have a misogynistic streak, that runs through society. If you look at social media, things like that, and it's kind of a reminder of all that, maybe.
Yeah, all those things coexist in the film. Yeah, and there is a depth to the film, and Thea, our director, is someone who's used to working with substantial plays and filmmaking, obviously, but she's got a depth to her work, which I think comes through, even in with the police as well. The female officers in the police. There's a sort of there's a maturity in the script which she plays with very well. So, but I think ultimate joy. But yeah, it does plays with all those themes.
And what's next for you? I guess you have your pick of projects these days. What's on the horizon?
I don't know really. No, I'm trying to. Yeah, oh gosh, I won't tell you. Well, yeah, exciting things in the garden. There's a few things happening later on in the year, but I need a bit of a rest. Can I say that? It's unfair, isn't it? But yeah, no, I can't wait to start this year for it to get rolling out.
Amazing. Thanks for your time. We enjoy the night.